Love, Desire, and the Cosmos, a Stoic guide to relationships in the modern world. The enduring wisdom of Stoicism. Have you ever paused amidst the whirlwind of modern life, the relentless pursuit of connection, and the often turbulent waters of love and relationships, to consider an alternative compass? Imagine navigating the complexities of the heart with the wisdom of ancient philosophers. Today, we embark on a journey into Stoicism, a philosophy born in the sun-drenched landscapes of ancient Greece and refined in the bustling heart of ancient Rome. Stoicism wasn't simply a set of abstract theories about the universe or the purpose of existence. It was a practical guide to living a virtuous and fulfilling life, deeply intertwined with our emotions and relationships. The Stoics believed that life should be lived in harmony with nature and that our emotions, including love and sexual desire, should be understood and managed wisely. This is not a dusty historical relic. It's a living, breathing framework that can offer profound insights into our contemporary struggles with love, connection, and the pursuit of happiness. Forget the modern dating apps and the fleeting trends of relationship advice. We're diving deep into a philosophy that has endured for millennia, offering a timeless perspective on what it truly means to love, connect, and find meaning in our relationships. Prepare to have your assumptions challenged, your perspectives broadened, and your understanding of love transformed. This is a journey into the Stoic heart. Part 1. Nature, Desire, and the Cosmic Dance. The Stoic journey begins with a fundamental reverence for nature. But how does this relate to our sexuality and desires? First and foremost, for the Stoics, understanding human nature was essential to living a virtuous life. They believed that we are born with certain inclinations and desires that in their essence are neutral. What really matters is how we respond and act upon them. To fully grasp the Stoic approach to love and sexuality, we must first understand their worldview. The Stoics believed in a universe governed by reason and natural law, a cosmos in constant flux, where everything is interconnected. Human beings, as part of this grand design, possess a natural inclination towards self-preservation, social connection, and the propagation of life. Desire, in this context, is not an alien force to be suppressed, but a natural expression of our inherent drive to fulfill these fundamental needs. 1.1 The nature of desire. Consider the raw, primal energy of desire. It fuels our creativity, motivates our ambitions, and drives us towards connection. The Stoics recognized this inherent power, but cautioned against allowing it to become an uncontrolled master. They argued that our desires, in their untamed state, can lead to suffering, disappointment, and ultimately, a life out of harmony with nature. Imagine a river. In its natural course, it nourishes the land, providing life and sustenance. But when it floods its banks, it becomes destructive, causing chaos and devastation. Similarly, our desires, when channeled with wisdom and self-control, can enrich our lives and relationships. But when allowed to run rampant, they can overwhelm us, leading to impulsive decisions, unhealthy attachments, and ultimately, a loss of inner peace. So when we talk about desire, especially sexual desire, it is not something to be rejected or seen as inherently negative. It is simply a part of human nature. However, what sets us apart, according to the Stoics, is how we choose to act based on those desires. This is the crux of the Stoic approach, not denial, but discernment. It's about understanding the source of our desires, examining their potential consequences, and choosing to act in accordance with reason and virtue. 1.2 Sexuality as a cosmic expression. But beyond the simple acceptance of desire as something natural, the Stoics viewed sexuality from a much broader perspective connected to the cosmos. According to their view, everything in the universe follows an order determined by nature, a constant flow of causes and effects. Imagine standing beneath a starlit sky, feeling the vastness of the universe stretching out in all directions. The Stoics believe that everything, from the smallest grain of sand to the largest galaxy, is part of this interconnected web of existence, governed by natural law. Sexuality, in this context, is not simply a physical act or a source of personal pleasure. It's an expression of this natural order, a vital force in the continuation of life. Sexuality, in this context, is nothing more than an expression of that natural order. It is not just a physical act or a simple attraction, but a manifestation of the will of nature for life to continue. This understanding of sexuality as something in harmony with the order of the universe leads the Stoics to see it as something transcendental. It is not just about pleasure or procreation, but a way to connect with something greater than oneself with the rhythm and melody of the cosmos. Think of the intricate dance of bees pollinating flowers, the passionate courtship rituals of birds, or the fierce protectiveness of a mother bear towards her cubs. These are all expressions of the same life force that drives us towards connection, procreation, and the perpetuation of our species. The Stoics saw sexuality as a sacred act, a way to participate in this cosmic dance of life. 1.3. Virtue as the guiding principle. Therefore, when addressing sexuality from a Stoic perspective, we are not just talking about individual acts or desires, but how these fit into the grand canvas of nature. It is a reminder that we are essentially natural beings, and our desires and actions, even in the realm of sexuality, must be understood and addressed in that context more, because at the end of the day, our sexuality, like any other aspect of our existence, is an opportunity to live in harmony with the universe and with ourselves. However, the Stoics never advocated for unrestrained indulgence. They emphasized the importance of virtue as the guiding principle in all aspects of life, including our sexual relationships. Virtue, for the Stoics, encompassed qualities such as wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. Imagine a compass pointing towards true north. Virtue, in the Stoic context, serves as that compass, guiding us towards actions that are aligned with reason, justice, and the common good. When we approach our sexuality with virtue, we strive to act with integrity, respect, and consideration for ourselves and our partners. This means avoiding exploitation, manipulation, and actions that could cause harm or suffering. It means prioritizing mutual consent, honesty, and open communication. It means recognizing the inherent dignity of all human beings, regardless of their gender, sexual orientation, or relationship status. 1.4. A modern perspective. In the modern world, where sexuality is often commodified and distorted by unrealistic expectations, the Stoic perspective offers a refreshing antidote. Instead of chasing fleeting pleasures or conforming to societal pressures, we can cultivate a deeper understanding of our own desires and make conscious choices that align with our values. Consider the impact of pornography on our perception of sex. Often, it presents a distorted and unrealistic view of sexual encounters, reducing individuals to objects of gratification and perpetuating harmful stereotypes. A Stoic approach would encourage us to critically examine the content we consume and to cultivate a more balanced and healthy understanding of sexuality. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to sexuality is about finding a middle ground between repression and indulgence. It's about acknowledging our natural desires, understanding their potential impact, and choosing to act in a way that promotes virtue, harmony, and genuine connection. It's about embracing our humanity with all its complexities and contradictions, and striving to live in accordance with nature's grand design. Part 2. The Art of Stoic Love, Detachment and Connection. Have you ever heard the term Stoic love? At first glance, it might seem like a contradiction. After all, Stoicism is known for its focus on self-control and detachment, while love is one of the most intense and passionate emotions we can experience. But here is where the beauty of Stoic thinking about love lies. The Stoics, far from renouncing love, invite us to experience it in a deeper and more meaningful way. The concept of Stoic love is often misunderstood. It's not about being cold, emotionless, or devoid of passion. Instead, it's about cultivating a love that is grounded in reason, virtue, and a clear understanding of what is within our control. 2.1. The illusion of control. Imagine trying to grasp a handful of water. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips through your fingers. Similarly, the Stoics believe that trying to control external events, including the actions and feelings of others, is a futile and ultimately frustrating endeavor. Seneca, one of the most renowned Stoics, said, "We don't avoid emotions, but we choose which emotions to follow. It is a call not to reject our emotions, but to guide them and give them direction." This is a crucial point. Stoicism isn't about suppressing emotions, but about understanding them, processing them, and choosing how we respond. The central idea here is not to be carried away by uncontrolled passions. Love, when impulsive and unexamined, can lead us to hasty decisions, obsession, or even despair. But when we approach it with Stoic wisdom, we can love deeply without losing our inner peace. This is what is known as love without attachment, loving without expecting anything in return, without trying to possess or control the other, but simply appreciating their presence and valuing the shared moment. Applying this to love means acknowledging that we cannot control whether someone loves us in return, whether a relationship will last forever, or whether our partner will always act in the way we desire. Trying to exert control over these external factors leads to anxiety, insecurity, and ultimately, resentment. 2.2. The power of acceptance. Instead of trying to control the uncontrollable, the Stoics advocated for acceptance. This doesn't mean passively resigning ourselves to whatever happens, but rather acknowledging the reality of the situation and choosing to focus our energy on what is within our control, our own thoughts, actions, and attitudes. And speaking of this, it is impossible not to mention Epictetus, who had some of the deepest reflections on love and desire. One of his most iconic quotes says, "Don't demand that things happen as you wish, but wish that they happen as they do, and you will have a tranquil life." Imagine a sailor navigating a stormy sea. He cannot control the weather, but he can control the sails, the rudder, and his own reactions to the waves. Similarly, in love, we cannot control our partner's choices, but we can control our own reactions to them. If we apply this to love, Epictetus is telling us that instead of trying to shape the relationship according to our wishes or expectations, we should learn to love and appreciate things as they are, to accept the impermanence of relationships, the possibility that they may change or even end, and still choose to love anyway. This acceptance allows us to approach relationships with a sense of peace and equanimity. We can appreciate the present moment without being consumed by anxieties about the future. We can love deeply without being crippled by the fear of loss. 2.3. Detachment, a key to freedom. Detachment in the Stoic context does not mean lack of care or affection. On the contrary, it means loving in a freer and more genuine way, the ability to enjoy the present without constantly worrying about the future, to appreciate the loved one without trying to change them, and to understand that true love is not possessive but liberating. The concept of detachment in Stoic love is often misinterpreted as emotional coldness or indifference. However, it's quite the opposite. It's about liberating ourselves from unhealthy attachments that can lead to suffering and dependence. Imagine a bird soaring through the sky. It's free to fly wherever it chooses, unburdened by heavy weights or constraints. Similarly, detachment in love allows us to love with greater freedom and authenticity, unburdened by possessiveness, jealousy, or the need for constant validation. This doesn't mean we don't care about our partners or that we don't invest in the relationship. It simply means that our happiness and well-being are not entirely dependent on the actions or feelings of our partner. We maintain our own sense of self, our own values, and our own independent sources of joy. 2.4. Love as a virtue. In summary, the Stoics offer us a unique perspective on love, one that is deeply passionate, but at the same time balanced and centered. It is a reminder that love, in its purest form, is a celebration of life and our connection with others. And when we experience it from this place of Stoic wisdom and detachment, it becomes one of the most enriching and transformative experiences of our lives. Ultimately, Stoic love is about cultivating virtue in our relationships. It's about practicing qualities such as kindness, compassion, honesty, and forgiveness. It's about treating our partners with respect and dignity, regardless of their flaws or imperfections. Imagine a garden. With careful tending and cultivation, it can blossom into a beautiful and thriving space. Similarly, our relationships require constant nurturing and attention. By cultivating virtues such as patience, understanding, and empathy, we can create a fertile ground for love to flourish. The Stoic approach to love is not a passive one. It requires conscious effort, self-reflection, and a commitment to personal growth. But the rewards are immeasurable: deeper connections, greater inner peace, and a love that is truly transformative. 2.5. Love in the age of social media. The prevalence of social media adds a new layer of complexity to relationships. The constant exposure to curated images of perfect couples can lead to unrealistic expectations and feelings of inadequacy. The Stoic principles of focusing on what is within our control and accepting what is not can be particularly helpful in navigating this landscape. Consider the phenomenon of relationship envy on social media. Seeing picture-perfect portrayals of other relationships can trigger feelings of jealousy and insecurity. A Stoic approach would involve recognizing that these portrayals are often highly curated and don't reflect the reality of the relationship. It would also involve shifting the focus from external validation to cultivating genuine connection and contentment within our own relationships. Part 3. Marriage, Family, and the Stoic Ideal. A marriage and family have been fundamental pillars in many cultures throughout history, but how did the Stoics view them? What meaning did they attach to these institutions, and how did they live them in their daily lives? The Stoic perspective on marriage and family is often overlooked, but offers valuable insights into how to build strong, meaningful relationships that are grounded in virtue and aligned with nature. 3.1. Marriage is a social duty. To begin with, we must understand that for the Stoics, marriage was not just a union of two people in love, but also a commitment to society and the continuity of humanity. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor, mentioned the act of marriage is a natural act directed toward the continuation of the species. He did not see it as a mere social convention, but as an integral part of the cosmic harmony and the natural order of things. From this perspective, the duties and responsibilities in a marriage were not seen as burdens, but as opportunities for personal growth and contributing to the common good. The Stoics viewed marriage not merely as a romantic union, but as a vital social institution with a purpose: to contribute to the continuity of society and the betterment of humanity. They saw it as a natural expression of our inherent drive to connect with others and to create a stable environment for raising children. Imagine a bricklayer carefully placing each brick to build a strong and enduring wall. Similarly, the Stoics saw marriage as a building block of society, contributing to its overall strength and stability. This perspective placed a strong emphasis on the duties and responsibilities of marriage. Fidelity, mutual respect, and commitment were considered essential virtues. The couple was seen as a team, working together to achieve a common goal: to create a loving and supportive home, to raise virtuous children, and to contribute positively to their community. Fidelity, mutual respect, support, and commitment were fundamental to the Stoics. A successful marital relationship was based on virtue, mutual understanding, and a commitment to working together to achieve a greater good, both for the couple and the community. These values offer a framework for building strong and lasting partnerships. 3.2. Raising virtuous children. When it comes to education and children, the Stoics had an equally deep and reflective perspective. They firmly believed that children are not simply small adults, but developing beings who need guidance, love, and above all, good examples to follow. Seneca said, "Children learn more from what you are than for what you teach." In other words, the behavior and actions of parents are the first life lessons for their children. From this perspective, educating a child was not just about imparting knowledge, but also instilling values, teaching through example, and preparing them to face life with wisdom and resilience. The Stoics advocated for an educat ion that cultivated virtue, self-control, and the ability to face adversity with serenity. The Stoics placed great emphasis on the education of children, viewing it as a moral imperative. They believed that parents had a responsibility to not only provide for their children's material needs, but also to instill in them the virtues necessary to live a fulfilling and meaningful life. Imagine a sculptor carefully shaping a piece of clay into a beautiful work of art. Similarly, the Stoics saw education as a process of shaping a child's character, molding them into virtuous and responsible citizens. They believed that the best way to teach virtue was through example. Parents were expected to embody the virtues they wished to instill in their children, demonstrating qualities such as honesty, integrity, and self-control in their own lives. This meant living a life that was consistent with their values, making conscious choices that reflected their commitment to virtue. It meant being role models for their children, demonstrating how to navigate the challenges of life with wisdom, courage, and equanimity. 3.3. Navigating modern challenges. In conclusion, the Stoic view of marriage and family is a combination of commitment to nature, society, and oneself. It was not just about fulfilling roles or following conventions, but about living according to principles that enrich the lives of individuals and the community as a whole. It is a vision that, though ancient, continues to have surprising relevance in today's world and offers a refreshing perspective on how to live in relationships and family responsibilities fully. While the Stoic perspective on marriage and family can be incredibly valuable, it's important to acknowledge the challenges of applying these principles in the modern world. The traditional roles and expectations associated with marriage and family have evolved significantly, and many couples are navigating new and complex relationship dynamics. Consider the rise of dual-career families. Both partners may be juggling demanding careers, leaving them with less time and energy for family responsibilities. A Stoic approach would encourage them to prioritize their values, to communicate openly and honestly about their needs, and to find creative solutions that allow them to balance their work and family lives in a way that is consistent with their principles. 3.4. A continuous journey. Ultimately, the Stoic approach to marriage and family is not about adhering to a rigid set of rules or expectations. It's about cultivating a mindset of virtue, responsibility, and commitment, and applying these principles to the unique circumstances of our own lives. It's an ongoing journey of self-reflection, growth, and striving to live in harmony with nature and with each other. Part 4. Practical applications. Living a Stoic life of love. And we must remember the words of Marcus Aurelius, who asserted, "What does not benefit the hive does not benefit the bee." This simple reflection invites us to view love and relationships not only from an individual perspective, but also from a collective one, reminding us that what is good for one should also be good for the other, and vice versa. Seneca, on the other hand, advised us that wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness in the context of love. This reflection invites us to treat our partner with kindness, understanding, and respect at all times, recognizing their humanity and value in our lives. How do we translate these ancient principles into practical steps that can improve our relationships in the modern world? Here are some actionable strategies rooted in Stoic philosophy. 4.1. Value the present moment. But how do we apply these insights to our current relationships? Here are some ideas based on Stoic thought. 1. Value the present. Seneca reminded us that life is short. Appreciate every moment with your partner. Live in the present, and don't let worries or expectations of the future overshadow your current happiness. The Stoics emphasize the importance of living in the present moment, as it is the only thing that is truly within our control. In relationships, this means focusing on appreciating the time we have with our partner, rather than dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Imagine savoring a delicious meal, fully engaging your senses and appreciating the flavors and textures. Similarly, we can savor the moments we share with our loved ones, fully engaging our attention and appreciating their presence. This means putting away distractions, such as phones and social media, and truly listening to what our partner has to say. It means expressing our gratitude and appreciation for the things they do for us. It means creating meaningful experiences together and cherishing the memories we create. For point 2, cultivate self-control. To self-control, the Stoics believed in the importance of self-control and love. This means not giving into unfounded jealousy, anger, or resentment. Cultivate patience and understand that everyone, including yourself, is imperfect. Self-control is a cornerstone of Stoic philosophy. In relationships, this means managing our emotions, avoiding impulsive reactions, and striving to act with reason and virtue. Imagine a volcano. When it erupts, it can cause widespread destruction. Similarly, our emotions, when left unchecked, can erupt and damage our relationships. Cultivating self-control means learning to recognize our triggers, to understand the source of our emotions, and to choose how we respond. It means practicing patience, empathy, and forgiveness. 4.3. Practice non-attachment. 3. Love without attachment. As Epicus taught, we should not hold on too tightly to external things as they're not under our control. This includes relationships. Love passionately, but always be prepared to accept any outcome with serenity. As discussed earlier, non-attachment is not about being indifferent or uncaring. It's about liberating ourselves from the need to control our partner or the outcome of the relationship. Imagine a kite flying in the wind. It's connected to the ground by a string, but it's free to soar through the sky. Similarly, in love, we can maintain a connection with our partner while allowing them the freedom to be themselves. This means accepting that our partner is an individual with their own thoughts, feelings, and desires. It means respecting their autonomy and allowing them to make their own choices. It means being prepared to accept the impermanence of relationships and to move on with grace and dignity if the relationship comes to an end. For point 4, communicate with wisdom. For cultivate communication, while the Stoics did not directly address communication in relationships, they did emphasize the importance of wisdom and mutual understanding in daily life. In relationships, open and honest communication is essential to understand and be understood. While the Stoics didn't explicitly address communication in relationships, their emphasis on reason, wisdom, and self-awareness makes it a natural extension of their philosophy. Effective communication is essential for building strong and healthy relationships. Imagine a bridge connecting two shores. Communication serves as that bridge, allowing us to connect with our partner, to share our thoughts and feelings, and to understand their perspective. This means being honest and open about our needs and desires, but also being mindful of our partner's feelings. It means actively listening to what they have to say, without interrupting or judging. It means being willing to compromise and to find solutions that work for both of us. 4.5. Strive for mutual growth. 5. Seek mutual growth. Love is not just about feeling butterflies in your stomach, but also about growing together as individuals. As Marcus Aurelius would say, seek what is beneficial for both and foster mutual improvement in the relationship. The Stoics believe that the purpose of life is to strive for virtue and to improve ourselves as individuals. In relationships, this means supporting our partner in their own personal growth and encouraging them to pursue their passions. Imagine two trees growing side by side. They support each other, providing shelter and nourishment. Similarly, in a healthy relationship, partners support each other's growth and development. This means encouraging our partner to pursue their interests, to learn new skills, and to challenge themselves. It means providing them with a safe and supportive environment in which to grow and evolve. It also means focusing on our own self-improvement and striving to become the best version of ourselves. 4.6. A Stoic's Guide to Forgiveness. Forgiveness is a central virtue in Stoic philosophy, crucial for maintaining inner peace and healthy relationships. Holding onto resentment and anger only harms ourselves, clouding our judgment and hindering our ability to live in the present. The Stoics teach us to accept that people make mistakes and that dwelling on past wrongs serves no purpose. The first step in forgiveness is understanding that everyone is fallible. The Stoics believe that human beings are inherently imperfect and prone to error. We all make mistakes, say things we regret, and act in ways that cause harm to others. Instead of expecting perfection from our partners, we should accept their imperfections and approach their mistakes with empathy and understanding. The second step is to recognize that anger and resentment are self-destructive emotions. The Stoics taught that emotions are not inherently good or bad, but rather our judgments about them that determine their impact on us. Anger and resentment are based on the judgment that we have been wronged and that the other person deserves to be punished. These judgments only serve to perpetuate our suffering and prevent us from moving on. Part 5. Stoicism in the Contemporary World. In the end, Stoic wisdom invites us to view love and relationships from a prism of authenticity, understanding, and growth. Although they lived millennia ago, their teachings remain a guiding light in the complex labyrinth of love in the contemporary world. Perhaps by embracing this wisdom, we can find deeper, more meaningful, and balanced love in our lives. The wisdom of the Stoics remains remarkably relevant in the complexities of today's world, offering a powerful framework for navigating the challenges of love, relationships, and personal growth. 5.1. Finding meaning in a materialistic world. In a society that often equates happiness with material possessions and external validation, the Stoic emphasis on inner virtue and contentment offers a refreshing alternative. By focusing on what is within our control, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we can cultivate a sense of peace and fulfillment that is independent of external circumstances. Consider the relentless pursuit of wealth and status that dominates modern society. The Stoics would argue that true happiness cannot be found in material possessions, but rather in cultivating virtue, living in accordance with nature, and finding meaning in our relationships. This doesn't mean that we should renounce all material comforts or ambitions, but rather that we should prioritize our values and strive to live a life that is aligned with our principles, regardless of our financial status. 5.2. Navigating the digital age. The digital age presents unique challenges to our relationships. Social media, online dating, and constant connectivity can create distractions, fuel unrealistic expectations, and erode genuine connection. The Stoic principles of self-control, mindfulness, and non-attachment can be particularly valuable in navigating this landscape. Imagine a constant stream of information and stimulation bombarding our senses. It can be difficult to focus on the present moment, to connect with our loved ones, and to maintain a sense of inner peace. The Stoics would encourage us to disconnect from technology periodically, to cultivate mindfulness, and to prioritize genuine human connection over virtual interactions. 5.3. Embracing impermanence. The Stoics understood that change is the only constant in life. Relationships, like all things, are subject to change and impermanence. By accepting this reality, we can learn to appreciate the present moment and to let go of attachments that cause suffering. Imagine a river flowing constantly towards the sea. It's always changing, always moving, never the same from one moment to the next. Similarly, our relationships are constantly evolving, subject to the ebb and flow of life. By embracing impermanence, we can learn to appreciate the beauty and fragility of our relationships, to cherish the moments we have together, and to let go of expectations that can lead to disappointment. 5.4. The Stoics' Guide to Online Dating. The Stoics' values offer a unique perspective on the sometimes turbulent world of online dating. How can Stoic principles guide us toward more meaningful connections and avoid the pitfalls of superficiality and unrealistic expectations? The Stoic emphasizes the need to focus on what is within our control and to accept what is not. Before creating a profile, take time to reflect on your values and what you are truly seeking in a partner. The Stoics believe that self-knowledge is the foundation of a virtuous life. Ask yourself, what qualities do I admire? What virtues are most important to me? What kind of relationship do I want to build? Being clear about your values will help you attract like-minded individuals. In the age of filters and carefully curated profiles, authenticity can be a radical act. Present yourself honestly, highlighting your strengths and acknowledging your imperfections. The Stoics valued honesty and integrity above all else. Avoid the temptation to exaggerate or create a false image. Remember, The goal is to find someone who appreciates you for who you truly are. Focus on what is within your control, your own thoughts, actions, and values. Approach the process with patience and a sense of purpose. A timeless guide to love and life. The Stoic philosophy offers a timeless guide to navigating the complexities of love, relationships, and life in general. By cultivating virtue, embracing reason, and accepting what is beyond our control, we can cultivate deeper connections, greater inner peace, and a more meaningful existence. The path of Stoic love is not always easy. It requires conscious effort, self-reflection, and a commitment to personal growth. But the rewards are immeasurable. Deeper connections, greater resilience, and a love that is truly transformative. As we navigate the ever-changing landscape of modern relationships, let us remember the wisdom of the Stoics, a beacon of light guiding us towards a more authentic, meaningful, and fulfilling life. Key takeaways: a Stoic toolkit for relationships. Embrace nature. Recognize that desire is a natural part of being human, but strive to channel it with virtue. Cultivate detachment. Love deeply, but avoid possessiveness and the need to control your partner. Focus on virtue. Prioritize qualities such as kindness, honesty, and compassion in your relationships. Value the present. Appreciate the moments you share with your partner without dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Practice self-control. Manage your emotions. Avoid impulsive reactions and strive to act with reason. Communicate effectively. Be honest, open, and mindful of your partner's feelings. Strive for mutual growth. Support your partner's personal development and work together to improve yourselves. Accept impermanence. Recognize that change is inevitable and learn to let go of attachments that cause suffering. Find meaning within. Cultivate inner virtue and contentment, independent of external circumstances. Navigate the digital age mindfully. Use technology consciously, avoiding distractions and prioritizing genuine connection. Before we part ways, please confirm your subscription to the channel. Here are 2 videos that may be of interest to you. Thanks for watching. Take care, and see you soon. Remember, the Stoic path is a journey, not a destination. Embrace the challenge, learn from your mistakes, and continue to strive for virtue in all aspects of your life. Good luck on your journey to a more stoic and fulfilling life.